All right, today we are tackling a huge one, a question that gets right to the heart of what it means to be alive. Why do we feel anything at all? I mean, stop and really think about that for a second. We could build a simple robot, right? Program it to find a power source, avoid obstacles. Easy. But we don't just react to the world. We experience it. We feel joy, we feel pain, we feel curiosity. So why did evolution bother adding this incredibly rich, complicated, and sometimes messy layer of feeling on top of everything? So what's the deal? What's the actual evolutionary point of something like joy or pain? Well, today we're going to dig into a really powerful theory that has a pretty surprising answer.
Okay, so part one, let's talk about the purpose of feeling itself.
And this isn't just some abstract philosophical question people ponder in armchairs. This is a real, core problem in fields like neuroscience and AI. If a machine can do all the survival stuff, find energy, dodge threats, all without feeling a thing, then why are we wired up with this incredibly intense emotional life? What's the evolutionary payoff? And that leads us to this really compelling idea, a theory that says the answer might have been staring us in the face the whole time. It's not something extra to our feelings. It's baked right inside them. Okay, so here's the big idea. It's called intrinsic motivation. And the theory is basically this. The feeling is the function. They're not two separate things, a feeling and then a motivation to act. Nope, they're one and the same. That amazing taste of your favorite food, that is the motivation to take another bite. The sharp, horrible feeling of a burn, that is the motivation to yank your hand back. See? The drive to act is literally built into the experience itself. And this chart here just lays it out perfectly, right? Pleasure isn't just some nice little data point that our brain later processes and says, hey, that was good, let's do it again. No way. The feeling of pleasure itself is the attractive force. It's the magnet pulling you forward. And on the flip side, pain isn't just a warning signal. The awful feeling of pain is the repulsive force, literally pushing you away. It's all in one package. And look, this is not a minor point. This quote here really gets at how big a deal this is. If this theory holds up, then this built-in motivation, this could be one of the oldest and most important reasons consciousness even evolved at all. It was just a fantastically efficient way to get an organism to do the right thing to survive. Okay, so this sounds pretty neat and tidy, doesn't it? But, like with all good ideas in science, it's not quite that simple. There is a debate. Is that link really unbreakable? I mean, intuitively, it makes perfect sense. It just feels right. Pain sucks, so you stay away from it. Good food tastes amazing, so you seek it out. The connection feels completely automatic. Perfect, even. But what if it's not? What if that perfect, seamless link is just an incredibly convincing illusion? So the philosophical challenge goes something like this. Is it possible, even in theory, to have the raw sensation of pain, but not the motivation to make it stop? Or to experience pleasure, but have zero desire for more? And what's wild is there are some really rare neurological conditions, like something called pain asymbolia, where this might actually happen. Patients can describe a sensation as painful, but they say it doesn't bother them. So that really forces us to ask the question, is the link fundamental, or is it just something our brains have gotten really, really good at pairing together? So you've got this philosophical debate on one side, but here's where things get really interesting. While the philosophers are arguing, a totally different group of people, scientists and engineers, are just taking the idea and running with it. They're not just talking about it, they're actively trying to build it inside of AIs. Right. So on the one hand, you have the philosophers going back and forth on whether this link is real or just an illusion. And on the other hand, you have AI researchers who are basically saying, forget the debate, let's just try to build it and see what happens. They are literally using intrinsic motivation as a blueprint to create AI that can explore the world all by itself. So check this out. This is a super simplified look at how you could program something like curiosity into an AI. It's based on an idea called active inference. The gist is, instead of programming an AI with a million specific rules, you just give it one core internal goal: minimize uncertainty. Or, to put it another way, don't be surprised. Now, how does an AI achieve that? Well, it has to actively go out and find new, surprising information so that in the future, that stuff won't be surprising anymore. And what do? You get a system that has its own built-in drive to learn and explore, not for some external reward, but just for the sake of making sense of its world. That is a programmed intrinsic motivation. And this isn't science fiction. This stuff is happening right now. Researchers are using this very principle to create robots that learn on their own, to model how we set goals, and even to try and build AI that can be creative or, get this, have fun. The fundamental insight here is that maybe, for a system to be truly intelligent, it needs to have these kinds of internal drives pushing it forward. Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. What's the big picture here? Well, I think the best way to wrap your head around it is with a really simple and powerful metaphor.
Think of consciousness as your internal compass. And all those feelings we have, joy, pain, curiosity, fear, they aren't just random noise. They are the needle of that compass. They're constantly guiding you, pointing you towards survival and well-being and away from danger.
So maybe the whole point of feeling isn't some deep, unsolvable mystery after all. Maybe it's something incredibly practical. Our feelings are the elegant navigation system that evolution installed to help us navigate a super complex world. It's our internal compass. And the beautiful part is, the feeling is the direction.
And that leaves us with one last, kind of mind-bending question to chew on. As we get better and better at building these internal compasses into our AI, these purely computational drives, you have to ask, what does it feel like to be that AI? If a machine has an internal goal-seeking system that perfectly mimics our own intrinsic motivations, is it feeling anything at all, or is it just a very clever piece of code? It's a heck of a question.